welcome back to whatever this is going to end up being. I have been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel on and off for basically ever since it arrived, ever since it came out. And there have been a lot of changes, there have been a lot of big things that happened, a lot of small things as well. And I think that the biggest thing, at least for me specifically, is that I finally got 100% on the trophy list for this game. Of course, it should be surprise to no one, the biggest thing that was holding me back was the ranking. But honestly, a big reason for that was because I didn't really have any decks that I wanted to play, you know? Or at least any good decks. Anybody who's seen my live streams in the past, they know that I've played some fun things, you know? I had my Sacred Beast deck, had my Gaia deck, had my BES core deck, which I have no idea what I was trying to do with that one, aside from just be a masochist, I guess. And thankfully, the Memento deck came out full power, and I was over the moon happy with it, so I decided to play that. So I kind of just want to use this as kind of my sign-off for the game. Probably never going to pick this up again unless I just want to do something super quick with the Memento deck, because the Memento has become my personal favorite archetype. What is... I don't know what that standard part really means, but... yeah, so... let's kind of just go through this. So, as I said, I've had many decks throughout the years, and I've had some that I started and then never finished. Like, for example, this one right here was supposed to be a Red Eyes Black Dragon deck, but I kind of just never committed to it, never really tried to finish it. Then I had my Numeron deck, which I was discussing in one of my last live streams about a year ago. And although it was strong, I was not very happy playing it, because the Numeron deck is so... the Numeron deck is infamous, and I think we all know why. So I did that for a little bit. I did want to do a Gate Guardian deck, but unfortunately Gate Guardian is not at full power just yet in this game. At least I don't think so. Dark Guardian. No, it's not at full power just yet. So I just never picked that back up. Polar Bears, which is basically the Ursa Arctic deck. I did have that one laid out for the most part, but I just never finished it. Never invested in it. But my very, very first deck that I specifically made in this game was my Relinquished deck. And the Relinquished deck itself has gone through a lot of changes, a lot of trials and tribulations. And this final build of it, I'm pretty happy with, honestly. I got to do a lot of fun stuff with it. Got to accomplish quite a bit while I was doing it. In fact, one of the replays that I'm going to show you today is based around the Relinquished deck. So... hang on, let me just... there we go. I just want to get the... I want to get my live stream pulled up because I do see that I have some people coming in. So if I see some comments, I want to answer them. I doubt it, but we'll see what happens. So I was finally able to see the power of Jester Confit, and since I have so many rares, I went ahead and invested in that. I did actually incorporate the Destiny Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer engine with this one. because it's a really good backup if for some reason I can't get a relinquished out onto the field. But that's how it looked. I was very happy with this. It was super cool. Then I made my Sacred Beast deck, which the Sacred Beasts, as much as they're a mid-tier deck, they are still my favorite archetype. I've always been a fan of the Sacred Beasts. I love Armityle, the Chaos Phantasm, and its various epic abilities. I even made sure to get the Phantasmal Summoning Beast as soon as it came out. Then eventually I did the BES core. I did a build for the Gaia the Fierce Knight deck, which I still have a lot of that because most of it came from structure decks, so I can't tear that down. But earlier this month, actually, I was like, you know what? I really want to get the last 2 trophies for this game so I can be done and be over with it. So I invested a lot. I invested a lot of resources into... Hello, Aklis. Hello. How are you? I invested a lot of resources into a deck that I lovingly call Memento and Friends. I actually spent some money on this one. Thankfully not a lot, because throughout the 3 years that I've played this game, I had a lot of resources already. But I did invest some actual money into this one, but again, mostly just resources that I already had at my disposal. So, the reason why I call it Memento and Friends is because, obviously, Memento is the main forefront, but it does also have the Fiendsmith engine in it, which I was surprised with how much I actually really like the Fiendsmith engine. Normally, I'm not a giant fan of super meta stuff, but the Fiendsmith engine is really fun, and then also, you get to have Lacrima in Master Duel, because Lacrima is not banned, which is crazy to think about. So just super quick rundown. I have Fabled Lurie, Effect Veiler, Memento Mace, Memento Goblin, 2 Maxis, Memento Gaddock, Ghost Ogre, Ash Blossom, Ghost Mourner, 3 Anguish, because you have to have 3 Anguish. I only have 1 Sleepy, because with how much is going on with this deck, I would prefer not to have that be drawn in my opening hand. Then I have 3 Darkblade, 3 Tatsu. I've seen a lot of people suggest only 2 Tatsu, but I'm like, if you draw Tatsu, you start your combo. Like, yeah, it sucks when it gets Ash Blossomed or Effect Veilered, but you can still do stuff. 1 Akihiron, 2 Fiendsmith Engraver, 1 Memento Horned Dragon, 1 Nibiru, because I got that off of a... I forget the name of it immediately, but that thing where it's like, you know, you buy 10 packs and you get this one for free. I have 1 Memento combined. Triple Tactics Talent, which, you know, if Pot of Greed was a thing in this game that you could use in ranked, I would much rather use that. 2 Fiendsmith Tract, 1 Memento Michelin 5-star Restaurant, 2 Called by the Grave Forbidden Droplet, 3 Bone Party, 3 Fusion, 1 Imperm, because again, that was one that I got for free, Memento Fracture Dance, and Cranium Burst. I did run Bone Back in this one for a while, but I took it out because it is effectively useless. Then I have 1 Lacrima, 1 Memento Twin Dragon, 1 Guardian Chimera, which I did end up using that a couple of times. Not super big, I think, just because I'm a purist at heart, so it's not my first go-to. Fiendsmith Desiree, 2 Creation King. You have to run 2 Creation King with this deck. Antidote Nurse, which Antidote Nurse is the reason why I ended up getting back into Master... Actually, you know what? Well, no, it's not even worth it at this point. 1 Antidote Nurse, which is really cool. It's a very new card. I'm surprised that it's already on Master Duel. DDD Wave High King Caesar, which I did end up using this quite a bit. Fiendsmith Requiem, Cross Sheep, underrated AF card in this deck. Moon of the Closed Heaven, because it's a different way to start Fiendsmith. Fiendsmith Sequence, which I got the Royal Rare on that one. Also, got the Royal Rare on Twin Dragon, so super happy about that. Just kind of luck at the draw with those two. Fiendsmith Agnum Day, Appaloosa Bow of the Goddess, and Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. Unfortunately, I think Underworld Goddess is the only one out of my entire extra deck that I ended up not using, and it's just because situation never really called for it. Never really called for it. Every other card in this deck, I think I ended up using at some point or another, but there was a lot of dismantling. There was some actual money spent. I see. But thankfully, not a lot of it. I'm just gonna check this real quick. One moment. Yeah. Okay, so no, I can't make. Oh, sorry. Just for banter, I'm gonna make one Pot of Greed. There we go. There. So if I ever play this casually, I'm just gonna swap out Triple Tactics for Pot of Greed. I am running 43 cards, but that's just because 43 is my favorite number, and so I will make every excuse in the world to run a 43 card deck. So 43 in the main deck, 15 in the extra deck. The biggest problem with the Memento Fiendsmith deck in this game, surprisingly, is not how complicated the deck is, because the deck is very complicated. It's the time constraint on this game. I can't tell you how many times I have run out of time in this game playing this. But let me go through this. I want to show you using solo mode. I want to show you the most optimal play. Like if you possibly can, I want to show you the extravagant end board that this deck can get you. So I'm gonna do solo mode for a couple of tries, see if we can't draw. Wow. Okay, so this was very highly unlikely, but as long as you have a starter and a Fiendsmith card, you should, heavy emphasis on should, be able to get this worked out. So if you have a Rhoda, if you have Darkblade, if you have Anguish, this is how you start off the combo. So we're gonna do Anguish just because that's the first card that we drew. We're going to add, if you start off with Darkblade or Rhoda, then you use Rhoda. Sorry, if you use Rhoda, then get Darkblade, then you normal summon Darkblade, pop him, get Anguish out on the field, and then you proceed from here. So draw Tatsu. It's very important that you start with the Memento combo first, because with Tatsu, the only thing that you can have on the field are Memento cards for its effect. So, special summon Tatsu, get him out, pop Tatsu, and then we're going to dump Mace, we're going to dump Goblin, and we're going to dump Sleepy. Then you can do whatever you want. So if you want to do the Fiendsmith stuff right now, that's fine. But I'm going to go through most of the Memento combo, so we can do that. We're going to do that. We're going to activate Anguish's ability, so we pop Anguish, get Mace onto the field. If you're going first, it's best to put everything in defense mode. Just try to get into the habit of doing that, because you do not want to get... you don't want to get Lightning Stormed, which I had to learn that lesson the hard way. Memento Fusion, get Memento Fusion, and then we're gonna bring out Creation King. So we're gonna do him. We're gonna do Mace. We're gonna do Tatsu, and then And then I'm just going to do... I would do Horn Dragon, but it's not going to go back into the deck. Because you actually want to keep Anguish and Sleepy out first and foremost. So I'll just say Horn Dragon, just because Horn Dragon's kind of just an extra body. So Creation King. Then we're going to activate Creation King's ability. And we're going to toss Gaddock, Akihiron, and another copy of Creation King. Gaddock's ability is going to activate immediately. Special summon. Then we're going. Then Gaddock's other ability is going to activate. So we. Now, it's very tempting to go ahead and activate Sleepy. Don't activate Sleepy just yet, because you're actually going to cut yourself off, and you're actually going to make you're actually going to give yourself a little bit of a problem if you do that. So we're going to activate Creation King in the graveyard so that we can add Memento Michelin 5-star restaurant, activate that, and then once you activate that, then you can change Sleepy if you so choose, because now we get Memento Michelin's ability. We're going to activate Sleepy, then we're going to summon Twin Dragon. Use him and Gaddock. If you have another card in your hand, that's fine. You can use that instead. If you can keep Sleepy out on the field, that's preferable. So that way you use less resources. Gonna pop Dragon. And we're going to add Combined Creation. And normally this is where you would add Trihorn Dragon onto your into your hand, but we already have them in the graveyard, so we're going to just add a Dark Blade, just for banter, Now, with Memento Michelin's effect, since the Twin Dragon just popped himself, that you can activate that effect, do that effect, do this. Memento Twin Dragon's effect is once it gets popped, then you can summon out a level 6 or lower monster. And then, because a monster was popped, Akihiron's effect activates, so you're getting 3 special summon bodies out onto the field, which is mental. So Akihiron first, which, if you're going second, that's actually very beneficial, because Akihiron has an ability where you can make it go... once Akihiron is special summoned, you can activate it, and then your Creation King and your Combined Creation can attack directly. So we're going to summon out Sleepy, and then with Memento Michelin, we can special summon Dark Blade, which, since we haven't used Dark Blade yet, gonna use that, gonna use him, gonna pop him, to special summon another Anguish. So, Anguish and Sleepy are both level 3 monsters, so we can Xyz summon Antidote Nurse onto the field. So the only effect that we have here is Memento Fusion, which is fine. So, we're going to use... Now we're going to start doing the Fiendsmith engine. Engraver to the graveyard. Tracked. Fabled Lurry. Bring Fabled Lurry out. And then since we have Fabled Lurry, we can link into Fiendsmith Requiem. Do that lovely thing. Special summon Fiendsmith Engraver. And then we can summon the other Fiendsmith Engraver by shuffling back Fabled Lurry or Requiem. Either way, doesn't matter. At least not in my experience. It doesn't really matter. Then we're going to bring out sequence by using both of our engravers. You can do either one. I kind of just prefer doing this one. Bada bing, bada boom, ba ba bow. We can fusion summon. We can fusion summon Lacrima or Desiree, depending on which one you want. By shuffling these two back. Use Lacrima to bring out Graver. Now, one thing that you can do here is you could fusion summon for Desiree. You could go into Agnum Day. Either one is really, really fun. What I personally am going to do is I'm going to do this. Summon out Desiree. Use Lacrima's effect so I can shuffle back in, I'll say sequence. Bam. Burn damage immediately, which that was another trophy that I was missing, was doing a bunch of burn damage to your opponent. And now we can do another couple of things. You can either keep Desiree out, do everything fantastically, but what I personally like to do is cross sheep, and I'll use him, and I'll use him. Get cross sheep. Don't want to do that just yet. And then I'm going to summon Combine Creation. So we're going to shuffle him, 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 Trihorn. We're not going to shuffle back in Anguish. We're going to shuffle Goblin back in. Actually, we should have shuffled Goblin back in. My bad. So this deck is very complicated. if you couldn't tell. And then I'm going to use that, him, and Anguish for Appaloosa. Now, I will say I do think I made a little bit of a mistake because the only Speller Trap that I have in my graveyard is Fusion. If you can get Cranium Burst in there, probably by using Creation King's effect, then that would be really good. If you could use Goblin's effect, which is why I should have shuffled back in Anguish, which that's my bad. Then you can dump more cards into the graveyard, and then you can get the Cranium Burst in there. Get Cranium Burst onto the field, set that at the end of the turn, and then you can go from there. And then what's really cool, I'll just go ahead and set Fusion, which is fine. And then what you can do is with Cranium Burst and Appaloosa and Antidote Nurse you can actually just keep recycling You can just keep recycling negates. And then also with Cranium Burst, whenever the opponent has a monster that can't attack, they have to attack into the biggest target that they have. So this was not the most optimal thing, the most optimal way that I could have played, but it's. I think it'll be okay. I think it'll be okay. So the Memento deck is very, very steep learning curve. Not a deck for beginners. And honestly, if you could, you probably would have. You probably would do significantly better than I did in this, in that particular example. But with this deck, and after many hours of playing, I did end up getting into Platinum. I only tried to get into Platinum 5. I'm sure I could get a lot higher if I wanted to. But let's do some replays of some of my favorite stuff. So I do still have these three Sacred Beast duels saved, because they're very cool, very important to me, I think, because I learned something from them. All of these I either kept because they're really cool or because I learned something from them. So these 4 Memento ones are really important to me, for various reasons. This Relinquished one that I'm going to show you was really funny, and then yeah, let's just go from there. So this is one of my Sacred Beast duels, one of my favorite Sacred Beast duels that I've ever done. It was between me and a man named Richard. He was playing an Elemental Hero deck. I was playing my Sacred Beast deck, because that was my main for a long time. So, obvious thing is obvious. We do Pure Rise map first. That ended up going through, so I got my Dark Beckoning Beast, opening the Spirit Gates, bringing out Chaos Summoning Beast. So I'm basically going to be able to go as close to full combo as you really can with Sacred Beasts. Get Salamangrade, opening of the Spirit Gates, Dark Summoning Beast, get that out. Bring out Hamon, because Hamon is essential. Bring out Raviel. Chaos Summoning Beast, bada bing, bada boom, get that one out. Cool, great, amazing. And, you know, that always ends up happening, where I get my Hamon out in defense position, because he has an effect when he's in defense position, and then I get Cerulean Skyfire out. So with Awakening of the Sacred Beasts, because I have 2 different Sacred Beasts out on the field, whenever they summon a monster, I'm going to gain its attack points as life points. And because there's a second one, it's all of the negate any effects of the monsters that my opponent controls. So. And, by the way, none of those effects are once per turn. So I keep gaining life points, which, first and foremost, I'm already back at full, because Period Rise Map does cut your life in half, but then they keep summoning monsters, and yeah. So... And see, he's already tried doing a lot of his effects while I had the second monster on the field, so they all got negated. But I still keep gaining life points. We still keep going. We're balling. We're having a great time. So he went to battle phase, but with Haman being in defense position, they can't target anyone for attacks except for Haman. So do another Period Rise map, which even after Period Rise map, my health still is not below the starting point. He tried to pop himself and my Haman, but because of Fallen Paradise, they can't be destroyed by card effects. Call by the Grave, get that guy out of here. I don't want to deal with Destiny Hero, Destroyer, Phoenix, and Forcer. So, super cool thing about Chaos Core is when it gets targeted for an effect, I can dump as many of my Sacred Beasts as I want. One of each copy, I should say. And then I can do that. And Dimension Fusion Destruction, since I have Haman on the field, it can't be negated. Bring out Armatile. Bring out Danger Bigfoot. And then, this is what I learned from this. Super Poly. Neither player can activate cards or effects in response to this card's activation. Cerulean Skyfire's effect, it doesn't activate. You see how it says once per turn while you control an attack position Haman, you can negate any spell or trap effect activated by your opponent? That's a comma. That's not a colon. If it was a colon, the effect would have to activate. But since it's a comma, the effect is always active. So, they tried to super poly me, but Cerulean's ability goes off, my Haman goes in defense position, super poly is negated. And so then I swing into Cross Crusader for game. I didn't know that. I did not know that Super Poly could ever be negated. But because Cerulean Skyfire's effect doesn't activate, I learned from that duel. And so I have that one saved, and I have that one saved publicly. At least I think I have it saved publicly. Yeah, I have that one saved publicly because it could be something that people learn from. Now this one, me versus God Raw, is probably my favorite duel that I've ever had. Probably my favorite duel that I've ever had. It was my Sacred Beast deck versus Eldritch Branded. So let's get into that one. Sacred Beasts versus Eldritch Branded. So this is actually a very good hand to start with because there's a lot of different opportunities here. There are a lot of things that I can do with this. Nowadays, I only run one Dark Summoning Beast, so this probably would have been the Phantasmal Summoning Beast. But Phantasmal wasn't around at this point yet. So start with Period Rise map because you have to start with Period Rise map. So I got Chaos Summoning Beast. No negate! Hooray! So I can pretty much go full combo here. Although with Sacred Beast, full combo is not as easy as every other deck that's like higher tier than Sacred Beast. So immediately, first turn, I have Haman, I have Rabiel, I have Awakening Set, I have Fallen Paradise, I have Cerulean Skyfire, which again, I got Cerulean Skyfire even though I have Haman in defense position, but I still put it out because if one of my Sacred Beasts leaves the field for some reason, then I take no damage for the rest of the turn. I would have really liked to get another Awakening of the Sacred Beast, so I could get like double the life point boost. But it's fine. So we draw, we do all that stuff. I don't think there's anything that I could really do this turn except for activate Awakening of the Sacred Beasts, which is fine. This is when I realize they're playing Eldritch. Then they play Branded Fusion, which I'm really, really surprised about. Because I've never seen Eldritch branded before. So, gain Albion's things. Albion tries to use stability. Negated! Eldritch, that one... Eldritch's effect does still go off because they don't control the Eldritch. Then, Eldritch gets summoned, and... because of its effect, it's going to be summoned at 3,500. And so I get 3,500 life points back. So I'm already back to more than full. Again, they can't attack because my Haman is in defense position. Use Fallen Paradise, get those two back. So, Torrential Tribute destroys all monsters on the field. I feel pretty okay with that, because I have my Fallen Paradise, I have my Opening of the Spirit Gates, I have everything that I need, so my Sacred Beasts are going to be fine. I forget why Eldritch doesn't get destroyed here, and I forget why. I forget why. I knew at one point, but I forget why right this very second. But it's okay. I pitch... I use Opening the Spirit Gates, pitch my Thunderbird, so I could destroy one of his face down cards. He summons another Eldritch, which means that I get more life points, bring back my Chaos Summoning Beast, use the Thunderbird's effect, and I don't know why he does this. You can target one set card. That set card cannot be activated this turn, but then he targets his own card, which is weird. Don't know why. But with Thunderbird, that card gets popped. It's fine. Use Chaos Summoning Beast, get Uriah out. And so now that I have all three Sacred Beasts out onto the field, first and foremost, effects are negated. Well, I should say, gain life points every time he summons a monster. Effects are negated, and every monster that I battle gets banished instead of goes to the graveyard. So two of his Eldritch monsters are banished. So I have all three Sacred Beasts out on the field, a super powered field. And so what could he possibly do? Negated with Cerulean Skyfire. He pitches 2 more monsters, brings out another Albion. I gain more life points. He tries, he fails, he tries to go into battle, ends up attacking my Haman, gives up. That is my favorite duel that I've ever been a part of, because I was able to get the full power of the Sacred Beasts, which I'm eternally grateful for. I'm super happy. Ask me what's my favorite duel I've ever been a part of. This is it. My second favorite duel that I've ever been a part of, I don't think I can see anymore. I think I accidentally deleted it at one point. But my favorite one that I've ever gotten was when someone got all 3 of their Blue Eyes White Dragons out into the field, and then I used Armatile the Chaos, Phantasm, Phantom of Fury, and banished all of their Blue Eyes White Dragons. Thankfully, I remember how that duel went, and I actually wrote like a script for it, like based off of the duel. So I will never forget that duel ever happened. But unfortunately, I can't watch it anymore. So, since we're doing Sacred Beasts, let's show all 3 of the Sacred Beast duels that I have right now. This one, I wish I could tell you what the deck was, but this one is very, very new, so I can't remember. So, horrible opening hand, but thankfully, my opponent's going first. They don't Ash Blossom my Max C. Woo! I'm very sorry. So I do use Ghost Mourner and Moonlight Chill. I actually love Ghost Mourner. I know that it's not the best one ever, but for someone who can't afford a bunch of ultra rares, and I had gotten it, I love Ghost Mourner. So I'm very, very thankful that I got Maxi my first turn, because none of these cards are starters. I can't do anything with these cards right now. Well, I mean, I can summon Danger Bigfoot, at the very least. I can summon Danger Bigfoot. But all the rest of these, I should not have them in my hand right now. Now I have a Dark Beckoning Beast. Now I can do something with it. And I also swapped out my Pyria Rise maps for Nightmare Throne, because Nightmare Throne works very, very well in this deck. Jeez. But this is why the Sacred Beast deck isn't super strong, because you have to have a certain cards, so many certain cards to even start having a good combo. But I still love my Sacred Beasts. I love my Sacred Beasts to death. Okay, so actually let's do draw phase. Okay, so in my draw phase I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18 cards in my hand, and I have one. Well, that's not even real. Chaos Summoning Beast isn't even really a starter. So I have 1, 2, Link 5, Negate Synchro. Yep. So I have 1, 2, 3 out of the 13 cards that I have in my hand. I have 3 cards that I can really start a combo with. That is insane. Dragon Link. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Nublet74. I appreciate that. So, again, love my Sacred Beasts to death. Not great. But thankfully I have everything I could ever want right now in this deck. Or in this opening hand. So, Nightmare Throne to see if there's an Ash Blossom. I get Phantasmal Summoning Beast. Borland Dragon. Not fun. Not fun. Negated. But thankfully I can use Gruesome Grave Squirmer, so I can go ahead and do that. I believe I... Oh no, I got Nightmare Cerebus. That's fine. So Nightmare Cerebus, pitch my Phantasmal Summoning Beast. I don't think I can target Borland Dragon, so I do that instead. Get Fallen Paradise out onto the field. Gruesome Grave Squirmer. Get that guy out. And then I specifically get the Hamon from my deck, so that way I can still use them in my hand. Phantasmal Summoning Beast. Use that for Dimension Fusion Destruction. And I go ahead and play Dimension Fusion Destruction because since I have Hamon on the field, it can't be negated! Phantom of Fury. Activate Phantom of Fury. Get him out onto the opponent's side. Draw 2 more cards because why not? It's banished. So they Cosmic Cyclone me, and unfortunately, Fallen Paradise goes. But I have 2 Called by the Graves set, by the way. Just so you're aware. So we do that. Try to activate that. Pitch him. Call by the Grave. Get that out of here. I don't want to deal with that. Get that out of here. And so, opponent's like, okay, fine. I'll activate another thing. Do that. Pitch. Call by the Grave. Banish that one. Negated. And then he gives up. Okay, so Sacred Beast versus Dragon Link. That was just fun. That was just super fun. I'm very, very happy with that one. Hello, Jared. Yeah, whelpers indeed. So those were my Sacred Beast duels that I have saved right now. I do have other plays from my Sacred Beasts on my YouTube channel. They're kind of old, kind of outdated, but I still have them because I love them so much. I'm not going to watch them right this particular second because I don't have a way to like stream that with you guys, but it's fine. Then next we'll go into the one singular Relinquished deck that I have. This was Relinquished versus a Blue Eyes deck. I know that this... Actually, can I change that? Can I change his tags? Yeah, I'm going to because why wouldn't I? So that and that, yeah. Actually, no, that, yeah. Just because. So it's Relinquished versus Blue Eyes, which Blue Eyes is a meta deck right now, from what I understand. Hello, Blitzdrake. How are you? Relinquished sucks as a deck, and Blue Eyes is a meta deck right now. So how do we fend off this incredible threat? Well, I'm happy to show you. So Relinquished is a going second deck. There is no getting around that. So even if my opponent had not chosen to go second, had not chosen to go first, I would have chosen to go second anyway. I'm watching my replays currently, but I'm not opposed to watching other people's replays if they would like. I'm not going to be dueling today, but I'm perfectly okay with watching other people's replays at some point if you would like to share. So I will fully admit I'm not entirely sure what the Blue Eyes strategy is. So I don't know why they ended on Hieratic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres and one face down card instead of having a Blue Eyes card. But that also kind of sucks for me because if I could have it relinquished, couldn't really do anything. So Keeper Dragon Magic, they do that. They return my Keeper, but that doesn't negate his effect, so I still get my Fusion Destiny. You have an anti-Blue Eyes replay. Ooh, interesting. Tell me more. Got relinquished. We're going to do Fusion Destiny, because remember, you have to do Fusion Destiny last, because otherwise it'll lock you out of other summons. So get relinquished, bring in something, direct attack, and then I use that so I can go ahead and pop the face down card, which the face down card was Primite Drill Beam. Again, not very familiar with it, so I don't know how important that is to the deck. Bring back Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. I like bringing him to the far right. Sorry, got a couple comments here. I usually set up Galaxy Eyes Shadow says I usually set up a board of negates with Odd Eyes. Won't let Blue Eyes play. Only deck I do that against. Valid. Very, very valid. And then Blitzdrake says... Blitzdrake, I will check that out after this replay is over. Bruh says, Yo-Yo, have you checked the loner decks in Ranked, what they have? I have not, because I like playing my decks. I like having fun. And then Blitzdrake says going second against Blue Eyes is horrendous. Well, then that makes this victory even more special. I'm gonna go ahead and Ghost Ogre that Mausoleum of White. Now we have a Blue Eyes White Dragon. I go ahead and destroy a Phoenix Enforcer that one, because no. And then he gets another Blue Eyes out, but then he puts that one in defense position. One second. Wow, royal finish on that one. Cool. Hang on one second. Galaxy Eyes says, facts, they won't let you play. That's kind of crazy, they got a ban card in one of them. Really? Interesting. Blue Eyes wanted to use Primate cards such as Drill Beam and set up both True Light and Majesty of White Dragons. Kaiba wannabes. I mean, to be fair, Blue Eyes White Dragon is so iconic of a monster that even people who don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Know what a Blue Eyes White Dragon is. I might check out the things on Ranked, but probably won't. Because I'm not going into Ranked today. Okay, So this is interesting. This is interesting. So he uses his Blue-Eye Spirit Dragon to attack my Relinquished. Now, I don't know how much you guys know about Relinquished, but it has an effect. When equipped with that monster, any battle damage you take from battles involving this card inflicts equal damage to your opponent. So he takes damage from my Relinquished. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Of course, my Relinquished gets destroyed. Highly unfortunate. Try to do that. Unfortunately, that effect gets negated. But you know what? It's fine. It's fine. I'm not gonna get mad at you. Brings out Ultimate Spirit Dragon. Negates Dasher. But I do get my Destiny Hero back. Yes, I agree. Ranked is very sweaty, because some people take this game extremely seriously. I do not. I like having fun when I play the game. In fact, I actually had to step away from the game for a long time because the level of anxiety that it gives me is actually incredibly harmful to me. I do have a Relinquished Anima, but I haven't drawn a level 1 monster yet. So, do that, do this, it's great, cool, fantastic, whatever. Monster Reborn, get my Relinquished. Get my Relinquished back. Try to target that one. They do that to try to negate it, but I go ahead and hit my Millenniumized Illusionist anyway, so that I can still get my monster. So I can still snatch the monster. Thanks to Illusionist Faceless Magician, we swap out and everything. It's great, it's fine, it's dandy. No. I have Jester Confit for my Anima fodder. And I think I have I do also have Effect Veiler, but Jester Confit is like the easy one because you can just special summon it super easily. Pure Dark Magicians. Very fun. Very cool. So I don't really have much commentary over this one because a lot of it is just usual usual things, I guess. I was able to clear out most of his field, able to summon another Relinquish, and then because I have an Illusionist in the graveyard, when Relinquish gets summoned, he comes back to my hand. I use Millenniumized Illusionist to snatch the Primite, and then even after seeing the effect of Relinquish beforehand, he still attacks my Relinquished. So essentially, this dude killed himself. But anyway, so that's that's my one and only Relinquished replay right now. But let me see if I can find this. Sorry, I don't really do this a whole lot. Here we go. Okay. Let's see what we have. Blitzdrake, please tell me which one it is going to be that you would like for me to watch. If there are multiple. There you are. The top one, this one right here. Okay, let's check this out. Maybe run Grave of the Super Ancient Organism. I don't know what you're talking about there. But I'm not really planning on changing anything from my relinquished deck because a lot of it's torn down anyway. Blue Eyes getting bullied heals my soul. Well, feel free to come back and rewatch this anytime, friend. Anytime you want. Although I will say this, I am immediately judging you for having the foot Ash Blossom card. Immediately judging you, but we proceed. Imperm, good stuff. Good stuff. That is a child. Anyway, so... So let's see what you do. Oh, Harpy's Feather Duster. Immediately. Grave of the... I'm actually trying to find Grave of the Super Ancient Organism on Neuron. Is that the actual name of it? Because I have no idea. But... Oh, you got Nibiru! No! But it's okay because we have Link Spider! Last card in hand. Oh, so it is a thing. Huh. Kinda shocked that I didn't see it. My word. Oh no. Yep. Yep, that tracks. That tracks. That tracks. Oh, I love it. Nibiru won't save the albino dragons. You're so right. You're so right. You're so very, very right. I've only ever really been able to use Nibiru a couple of times because I don't run Nibiru very much. But here, let's take a look. Let's take a look, because again, I've never heard of this card before. A Grave of the Super. I'll just do that. Grave of the Super Ancient Organism. Level 6 or higher special summon monsters in the field cannot declare attacks, nor can players activate their effects. That would be interesting. That would be very interesting. Especially since relinquished monsters are usually below level 6. The only thing that I would worry about would be my Destiny Hero Destroyer, Phoenix Enforcer. But yeah, cool, interesting, amazing. Thank you for telling me about that. I will sincerely need to look into that for my, like, IRL deck. Yeah. It's not... It's the grave of the super ancient organisms, not just any ancient organisms. Pish posh. All right, so I have two replays saved of my Gaia deck. If you watched my Gaia live streams, then both of these are on there. But I do have these saved just for the fun times. And then after we watch the Gaia thing, then we will, then I'll show you the memento duels that mean a lot to me. Or that something just really cool happened. So, let's begin! So immediately, I don't have the greatest hand in the world. I fully admit that. Therefore, level 6 and above monsters are canonically the oldest. Maybe. So these guys are playing Salamangrate with Diabell Star and everything. So I immediately am like, alright, let's see. We're gonna see what happens. So, I'm not familiar with the Salamangrate engine. I don't know how the archetype works. I know it used to be very meta for a while. In fact, I think it won tournaments. And people still try to use it to this day. So, all more power to them. Pot of Extravagance. So, not drawing great stuff. I do this so I can get Spiral Spear Strike because I want to do piercing damage. But I forgot with Pot of Extravagance I can't draw anymore. But it's okay. Swap out for Soldier Gaia. Because with Soldier Gaia, you can tribute a fusion dragon that you have on the field and summon Soldier Gaia even during battle phase. So that's come in handy quite a bit for me. Snake Eyes. To which I said, nope. I didn't know if it would negate it, but... Because Ghost Ogre's kind of weird. It's like some cards, when they leave the field, they negate. Some cards they don't, and I don't entirely understand why. So here they go, building their field back up. They got Sunlight Wolf, which they do use Sunlight Wolf to summon Sunlight Wolf because it has an effect. And Bestower of Flames. And Flamber's Dragon! Ouch! Ouch! If they just had another monster, they could have OTK'd me. But they did not. So first and foremost, Harpy's Feather Duster. Blah, 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 blah. Artillery. Spiral Fusion! Now, I will say what I could have done there is I could have summoned the magical night dragon first, and then use its ability to then also special summon magical Knight of Dragons, but it's okay. Negated! Bam! And then my attack power grows. My attack power grows, and I go in for the swing, but then he gives up. I'm like, come on, man! You're not even gonna let me get that last little thing. You're not gonna let me get that last swing on you. Whatever. So yes, Gaia the Fierce Knight can beat Salaman Great Snake Eyes, if that's even a good combo. I really don't know. But then this one is one of my favorites. It's Gaia versus the Crystal Beasts. Interesting combination. Two super nostalgic decks. Who would have thunk? So, Gaia the Fierce Knight is also very much so a going second deck, because it has so much gas to it, and it doesn't have a lot of defense to it. So I'm just going to let this guy play out his thing. I don't understand a lot of the Crystal Beast deck. I don't know a lot of their influences. I don't know why they have to combo so much, but they do. And of course, this is me saying that as someone who plays Memento Fiendsmith. Now. And I really do try. I really do try to, like, read and understand what these guys are doing with their effects. But they just, even in the game, even while we were dueling, they were doing it so fast that I physically could not keep up with it. But I don't have any hand traps, so it's not like I can really do anything about it. So they have this humongous, gigantic combo. And don't even get me started on the Gimmick Puppet deck. FTK, motherfucker. Zealantis. Yeah, there's just... As someone who doesn't know anything about the Crystal Beast combo, I don't know anything about the Crystal Beast combo. Appaloosa. Rainbow Dragon. Rainbow Over Dragon. So I will say, this battle taught me something. I did not know that IP Mask had a protection effect. I never knew that. I genuinely thought people just used IP Mask so that they could, like, disrupt players' turns, but then I never understood how the disruption worked. But it's whatever. So we do this, we do that, we have a great time. Spiral Fusion. I get my Magical Knight of Dragons, which again, I should have gotten the Curse of Dragon, the Magical Night Dragon first, but I genuinely didn't know. So that's how I learned this. You can make the Magical Knight lose 2600 attack and then destroy a card. Yeah, it didn't destroy the card. Yeah, it didn't destroy the card. But it's okay, because we attack, and then gain more, and then attack, and then we did piercing damage, so we could draw 2 cards. But then he gets shuffled back into my deck, and I'm like, dang it. But since I have Curse of Dragon in my... Now, I don't know why they didn't try to summon other monsters. If they had summoned other monsters, then they could have done something, but they didn't, for some reason. I think it was because of my max C. I don't know. But then they go and summon other monsters anyway. Ghost Mourner says no. So we do that. I did kind of figure that there was going to be a negation somewhere, and I'm glad that it was with Pseudospace. So instead I go with Galloping Gaia. And I called by the grave his Rainbow Dragon Overdrive. Which that's when I really started to feel like I could win this duel. Do that, and this is when I summon the Magical Night Dragon, and then I get the effect going, and then they forfeited because they knew there was no way that they were making it out of it. But yes, I love the Gaia deck. It's not my usual motif. Usually I like a lot like darker and bigger and stronger enemies. Or monsters, I should say. But Gaia is just straight up gas. But that does it for my previous decks. All of these ones. If you want to rewatch any of them, then you can either come here or you can check out my my profile. But now we're going into the Memento decks. These two I know immediately why. I have them saved. This one I can't remember, and then this was the duel that got me into Platinum and got me that trophy that I wanted so badly. So obviously we're gonna start from the bottom. We're gonna start from the bottom. We're gonna go from this one, partly because I can't remember what it was for. So. Ah, yes! Now I remember. The reason why I saved this one is because with the Memento cards, this is literally the worst hand that you can draw. This is literally just so horrible. Well, maybe not the worst hand that you could draw. Let me put it this way instead. In my Memento deck, I have Rhoda, I have 3 Darkblade, 3 Anguich, 3 Tatsu, 3 Bone Party, I have so many things that I can start a turn on. I have so many things that I can start a turn on. I have 1 copy of Gaddock, 1 copy of Sleepy, 1 copy of Aki, 1 copy of Nibiru, and 1 copy of Rhoda. This is such a bad hand to start with. So, we ball. Let's go. So, we use Rhoda for Darkblade. Normal summon Darkblade. Use that, pop. Get Anguish out. Get Tatsu. And then this is kind of going off of the combo that I originally showed you, but with some heavy variations. Because I can't dump Sleepy and I can't dump Gaddock. So I have to find some other way to do a lot of my combo. Thankfully with Sleepy I can special summon, do Memento Fusion. I probably should have done Memento Fusion first, so that I could get the Creation King out, and then also do the Creation King's ability. So I could get Memento Michelin. But it's okay, because there's a lot that I could do anyway. To get Cranium Burst and Bone Party out there, because both are, like, pivotal for this deck. Summon Akihiron, summon out Darkblade, get my Bone Party back, and then from there I can do Memento Michelin. Which again, I'm really jumping the gun on a lot of this, but it's okay. Do that, pop, get that. Get Sleepy out, so I can go ahead and make Antidote Nurse. Who would have thunk it? Well, I don't have 2 monsters with 5,000. I only have the 1. Not trying to be a smartass or anything, I promise. It's true. Summon out Appaloosa. And because of my Memento Michelin, I can bring out Cranium Burst, and then this is where the deck really shines. Because now, I have at least 8 negates on the board, and then I also have Antidote Nurse, so it can just keep getting stronger. Creation King is not 5,000. Creation King is 3,000. So my apologies. I thought you meant that like you would have 2 combined creations out on the field, but Creation King is only 3,000, so it's like perfect 8,000. But yes, with Akihiron, you can ignore the opponent's monsters, and in fact, that's what I end up doing for a good lot of them. See, that's one of my favorite things about Memento, is that going first or second, it's super strong. Going first, you set up this wall of negates. Gotta start running Dark Ruler. So this is not a great hand either. This is not a good hand. But at the very least, with it, I can do the Fiendsmith stuff. Which, you know. So I will say I didn't understand at the time that like you're not supposed to do that with Fiendsmith, but it's okay. So, Magical Musketeer. Do not know much about the Magical Musketeer. But I go ahead and negate it. But yeah, it's 8 negates, and then if they run Antidote Nurse, then it's even more. So I did waste my Imperm, unfortunately. Yeah, I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. But this duel actually taught me what you're supposed to do with the Requiem thing. Fiendsmith sequence. So I can do Nibiru at any time now. I can do Nibiru at any time now. Nibiru! And then he's gonna use the Lacrima ability and burn me for damage. Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm the greatest ever, because I'm not. But I do end up pulling out a lot of good stuff. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I made a really bad mistake there. I thought that I could just imperm him and then the effect not work, but turns out I was wrong. What are you gonna do? You make mistakes, you grow and you learn. So this asshole imperms my Creation King, and I'm like, no. So much of my work, but it's okay because I still have my Fiendsmith stuff. Can't hit it with Valor either. Well, so I do the thing that he just taught me. Get my Lacrima. Special summon my my Engraver. Hit that Bone Party. So I do that. Attacking. I got this stuff. Bring out Lacrima. Or do the thing with Lacrima, and I did it. They got boned! Yes, Blitzdrake, yes. Time to get boned. Indeed. Indeed. So I was very, very happy with that one. Just because like, I didn't, you know, that duel taught me a lot about the Fiendsmith effects and what you're supposed to kind of do, and also like that I need to be a lot more careful with some stuff. But I still ended up winning, which is why I love my Memento and Friends deck. This particular one, it's Memento and Friends versus Cyberdark. Just found out the long dead Ice Jade deck is actually meta. Uh-oh. Don't know much about that, unfortunately. Oh, the inferior... Cyber Dragons are still kind of a rogue thing. Cyber Dragons are still a rogue deck, if ever there was one. They just keep coming back. But this is Cyber Dark, which I think is worse. I think. Could be wrong. So at first I think they're doing super heavy samurai stuff. Yeah, dark is way worse. Thought so. I tried to Ghost Ogre their Gear Giant, but they called me. XC's Armor Fortress, which is very new for me, but every time I see Armor Fortress, I see them do the exact same thing. So it kind of tells me what it is. Yeah, that kind of happens. I wish the Sacred Beasts would get more support, but they kind of just get little tiny things, maybe, and even then. Even then, it's kind of pulls on my collar out of nervousness. Sacred Beasts, U-Bell fodder. I was playing Sacred Beasts before they were U-Bell fodder. Okay. So, I'm looking at this board, and I am not very happy with it. I am not happy. I'm like, oh my god, they have this super, super strong thing. They have a negation and destroy thing. They have all these cards that I have no idea what they are. Yes, that's very, very true, and I wish that I could own a Varudras, but a Varudras is insanely expensive right now, in real life. So I'm not a fan of this board. I don't know what I'm going to do, and then I draw the out. Forbidden Droplet. So I want to keep the Forbidden Droplet in my hand, but then I see that, and I'm like, alright, cool, we're doing this. We're doing this right now, baby. Forbidden Droplet. And I target the two biggest monsters there because I figured they're the ones that are the most danger to me. And then they try both of their effects, and both of them get negated. So, I essentially go full combo. So I'm just gonna speed through this because I already showed what full combo is for this. Bada bing, bada boom, gets that stuff. Get Creation King. Dump Creation King and all that fun stuff. And again, I should have done the Creation King in the graveyard first, so that I could get Memento Michelin, but I didn't think about it. And I did activate Akihiron's effect, so that I could go ahead and, you know, attack over them. summon out my combined creation. Summon out Anguish. Do that. Get the antidote nurse just in case. And then attack for game. Hope they ban all 3 Morganite Stone spells. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. So, was very, very happy with that one because it was a Destiny draw. I drew the out. It was great. It was fun. I love it. I love it to death. And so then this last one that I'm going to show you, this is the Memento battle that got me into Platinum, that I was overjoyed by. Oh, I actually need to make the Cyberdark one public, not the Fiendsmith Muskrat, whatever the fuck. So they chose to go first, but I'm like, okay, I have some stuff that I can do. I have a decent little bit of stuff that I can do, and then they just play a Time Lord. They just play a Time Lord, which I'm like, the only way that turns out negative is if I battle the Time Lord. So let's see what happens. No! But it's okay, because Memento Fusion! Bam, and bam. And just like that, I became a platinum duelist in this game. I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel on and off for 3 years, 3 months, and 3 weeks. And I've had my ups and downs with it. I have had some things happen that I'm not terrifically happy with. I've spent more money on this game than I probably should have. But I had a mission this particular time, so I destroyed a lot of what I had. I dismantled a lot of what I had. I spent more money so I could get this deck that I really, really love, Memento Fiendsmith. And again, I'm not a perfect player with it. I'm not great at it. But I know enough about it that I was able to get to Platinum, which is a rank that I never really thought I was going to be able to get into because I like playing, like, not meta things. I don't like playing meta. Never have. But with Memento, it's strong, it's edgy, it's really consistent. I really, really love it. So, unless I pop up somewhere and, you know, ask someone to watch one of my replays, I think that's I think that's gonna be it for me with Master Duel. I think that's gonna be it. So everybody who jumped on today and watched, thank you so much. I really appreciate you all. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. I hope you have fantastic journeys with Master Duel. For the ones that, came on and watched my silly little replays with me, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. This is Xander Carlisle, signing off. Bye. Bye.